All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Hashem. When I think about some of the distinctions between life for our people in Africa, particularly in Yoruba land, and life for us here in the diaspora, there's a difference in, in Nigeria, what happens is that you inherit the kingdom. You ascend the throne of your father. You continue something that was started in antiquity, perhaps so long ago that nobody even remembers how it began, right? You just come into it and there is a palace, or there's at least a memory of a palace. There's an understanding of the palace. And in the palace, there are chiefs, the right and the left. In the palace, there's the diviner. In the palace, there are there's the war advisor. In the palace, you have a throne, you have a crown, you have a scepter, you have all the different symbols and insignia of power and authority. And you have a position of a king. And everyone knows and understands who the king is and what he does. And in the diaspora, however, the difference is um, quite different in the sense that we have to build the kingdom. We have to establish the kingdom. There is no palace, and there is no memory of the palace. There's no recognition of the palace per se. The people don't recognize the king. There are no known chiefs, crown, throne, insignia of authority, right? All of those things are part of our ancestral memory, but we've got to extrapolate, right? All the ways in which a person will be recognized as a king are you got to transfer, right? So someone has a house and it's a nice stately house, and you have a car, and you're recognized in a certain position, etc. But it's something that people have got to transfer their understanding and look at one thing and be able to make the connection between that and something else. But as such, we don't really have a recognized, let's say, order for a kingdom. All right. However, the lesson that I want to share with you today is that if you're building the kingdom or you're inheriting the kingdom, what has to happen is that you have to approach the process with the intent to rule. You have to approach the process with the intent to govern. You have to approach the process with the intent to exercise complete authority over the realm and all of the people and the resources that happen within that realm. And so, in that regard, it is synonymous with leadership, right? You don't become the leader just to say you're the leader, right? You don't go through all the trouble to become the leader. You don't pay those dues. You don't, make those sacrifices. You don't dedicate the years and the hours and the money to becoming the leader without the intention to rule, to govern, to guide, to protect. That's the whole purpose. And sometimes, you know, that understanding can be so latent in your own consciousness that it's not until you actually are steps away from the establishing the kingdom, or you're only steps away from having finished establishing the kingdom, you're only steps away from ascending the throne, that you realize, oh, this has been compelling me and driving me all the while. There's an innate thing, right? They say that the head who is destined to wear the crown will not fail to wear the crown. I'm reminded of in my earliest exposure to culture, I remember talking to an elder, and I've forgotten where he was from. But I remember telling him my name was Oribunwa. He says, Oriuwa Agunwa. It's the head that is going to sit upon the throne. This is the head that governs and that's going to sit on the throne. And another elder is like Orimokunwa. Ori knows who will, who will rule. The Ori knows who will govern. And so it is in our destiny, right? And our destiny is a seed consciousness. And that seed consciousness only needs the environment and the proper sequence of events in order for its nature to manifest. So if you get a mango seed and you put it in proper soil and you give it light and water for enough days, then it's going to sprout and grow and become a mango tree. It's natural. It doesn't have any other choice. So it is with the people who are destined to ascend the throne, right? Now, all of us are destined to ascend the throne of our destiny. You have a throne that you must ascend. Your throne might be, in the garage. You're a mechanic. Your throne might be in the kitchen. Your throne might be in the operating room. Your throne might be on the farm. There is some area in which you will ascend the throne of your destiny and you will become the authority. You will be the one who ultimately all responsibility falls onto your shoulders. The vision for the direction and the rate at which that project or that area of activity progresses is 100% on you. And you will not have it any other way, right? There are some, once you come into your nature, you're going to also be naturally inclined to take leadership of certain things. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody is a mogul and everybody is the head of everything. We don't have 20,000 kings. Some people are supporting the kings. Some people are supporting the leaders. Some people are advising the leaders. Some people are financing the leaders. Some people are protecting the leaders. Some people are feeding and nurturing the leaders, right? All of those are essential, necessary parts of this realization of establishing the kingdom, okay, or building the kingdom. And so what I really intend to convey here is that on one hand, it's essential. All of these things come back to your ability to tap into your real nature and to accept who you are and where you're coming from and why you're here. The other aspect of it is understanding that once you come into realization, once you are aware of your nature and you are aware that you are going to occupy the throne, you also accept that you are going to occupy that throne because you are going to assume responsibility for governing. You're going to assume responsibility for leading. You're going to assume responsibility for protecting. You are going to assume responsibility for elevating, for enhancing, for enriching your realm and everyone who dwells and operates within your realm. And that is the real blessing of proper leadership. Because in that regard, you understand that being the king means serving. Being the king means drawing out from everyone in your environment all the resources, the performance, the discipline, the dedication, the devotion that is necessary for you to guide the collective toward our shared well-being. Right? It is the king is the one that draws out everything in the environment in order for all of those resources to be used to enable the collective to reach the pinnacle, the zenith, to reach optimization. There's a vision that the leader has. There's an understanding that the leader is in alignment with. There's a reality that's already come to fruition in the mind and in the spirit of the leader. And then the duty of the leader becomes now enabling all of the people and all of the resources and all of the mechanisms in his realm to now help us to realize and materialize and manifest that vision. And the manifestation of that vision is the guidance, the protection, the upliftment, the refinement, the enrichment of the collective. And so this is a heartfelt message to the leaders. I am looking for people who are ready, willing, and able, determined to help improve the world through positive influence. If you're one of those people, I want you to find out how Obafemi Oriboa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the next level. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com. Let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Whatever.